top speed at the Laconia drag events this year was 86.43 miles an hour, achieved by Bill Atwood of Lynn, Massachusetts in the Class 6 race. We'll be back with more on motorcycling after this message of interest. Activity begins early at the track and builds steadily till race time. Favored drivers in the big race include Dick Mann, number 64, last year's Laconia winner, Dick Klamfoth, number 2, and Joe Leonard, number 98, both two-time winners here, and Carol Reese-Weber, number 1, the 1960 expert champion. Here, Reese-Weber and others talk about motorcycle road racing.
Well, I can start off with the brakes, which this right handle here is the front wheel brakes, and on the opposite side here is left wheel, which you can see this lever moving. And over on the left-hand side here is the clutch. And this right lever here is the shifter lever. And the brakes and levers are all set up just the same as a regular road job. And they're also, for racing, they have the air scoops on the front brakes, which you can see. And we use our own special tires that we think that work the best for road racing. But other than a regular standard motorcycle, it's actually the same as a road job, except for the engine, which is modified up to 45 cubic inch, which we're limited.
Wind resistance on a motorcycle is probably the biggest factor in your top speed. So you have to get down on it and get tucked in as well as you can.
Well, mechanical problems, I guess you can expect about anything, but brakes seem to be most important. Is that after, say, 50 or 75 miles, if it all depends on the track, the conditions, is how hard you use your brakes. If they want to fade pretty bad, which you can see we use the air scoops to keep them cool. Of course, material things you can't depend on. They're liable to go anytime.
Well, you can have most any kind of trouble. You do your job thoroughly on the bike, but it seems that something can happen at any time. A nut or a bolt can break, or you could break a rod, or a plug could foul. You could split an oil tank. There's so many things that could go wrong with a piece of machinery.
I think they fail to understand the concentration and the mental work that goes into this racing. When you see them out there riding on a track, you just imagine they've got a handful of throttle and they're waiting for the motorcycle to go ahead. But the mental work, I think, is more than the actual physical part of it.
Well, as time goes by, it seems that the riders get a little bit better and faster, and today there's some very good riders, and today's race should be very interesting.
I think the man to watch would be Joe Leonard. He's the absolute master of this road racing here in the United States. He's got such a sort of a gyroscope built into himself, and he's really the man to watch in any kind of a pavement race or a race with left and right corners and brakes.
I can name some past Laconia winners: Dickie Mann, Joe Leonard, and Carol Reese-Weber, who has gone good here. He hasn't won, but I believe he's got an awful good chance this year. And there's some dark horses that could actually win the race today, as well as the fast performers.
Fatality-wise, it's a fairly safe sport. We've got a lot of injuries, bodily injury, arms and legs, but compared to car racing, it's quite safe.
Well, that's right. In the automobile, you're encaged in it, and on the motorcycle, you can get off of it.
The big left-hand corner going up over the mountain is the one to watch. That's where you could get hurt. The other corners, if you fell, you'd lose time and maybe bend up your equipment, but the one up over the hill is the one to watch.
And of course, time trial is a real important thing, because if you have a good fast time, they start 4 in a row. One of the first 4 will put you in the front row, which is a good position to start from any place in the front row. So we'll try to have a real good time trial, so we won't have to run in the pack for a long time.
That last expert rider was Roger Riemann, number 55, winner of last spring's 200-mile Daytona, Florida race. The time trials are about to get underway. Each rider is trying for a lap time that will win him a place in the first 3 rows on the grid. A position further back in the starting lineup means a rider will be in heavy traffic for the early laps, both time-consuming and dangerous. There goes Riemann, 55, off to a rear wheel start and his try for a front row starting position. When all the qualifying lap times are recorded, Riemann takes the coveted pole position with the fastest circuit of 56.58 miles an hour.
A key move in motorcycle racing comes in the turns, where races are often won or lost. To speed themselves through the turns, some riders use the foot-down position, keeping their machine balanced with their foot down on the track. Precise balance between driver's weight, the sliding wheels, and his foot is the move that makes the difference where and when it counts. Here's another move that makes the difference in top refreshment, the move to Schlitz. It's the winner in any event because Schlitz delivers top performance glass after glass. Pour one for yourself and know it firsthand, that satisfying goodness of Schlitz, the only beer brewed with just the kiss of the hops. Bright, matchless flavor. Ah, what a difference. That's why Schlitz is a beer preferred by those who know and enjoy the finest in adult refreshment. Soon as you can, why don't you make the move that makes the difference? Move up to Schlitz and enjoy the difference in the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
A drivers' meeting will be held immediately at the start-finish line.
We'll be back with more on motorcycle racing after this pause for station identification.
I talked to a couple of you boys on this before. I'm going to tell you all now. In the event of oil on the track, similar to what was on in practice, we're going to put the side hack out, the one that's been down there all day, that kind of chop job, under a hold position flag. The ambulance will be on the right. The sidecar will be on the left with the hold position flag. You get the idea, all right? Is that understood? No bunching up either on that. You understand about the oil, all right? Now, any questions? Let's go.
These
boys.
are the
Call 'em up.
experts, the cream of the road racing crop. They've proven their skills and stamina in scores of races, first as novices and amateurs, and finally in this expert division. Leading the field of 51 at the start will be the top time trial qualifiers. Riemann, 55 on the pole, then Reese Weber 1, Donald Gore, 47, and Ralph White, number 6. The qualifying times of Mann, Leonard, and Clamforth were not as fast, but fast enough to place them in the first 4 rows.
South Carolina, Florida, Illinois, Delaware, Wisconsin, Michigan. We have them from all over the United States. Right here. And looking the boys over. Championship road race. And they're getting ready. He's getting ready. The referee is raising his hand. And they're off. And it's a good signal stop. That was a beautiful start. Everybody stay off of the track.